Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Sagittarius July 2022 Illumination reading. This is I Am Illuminated Tarot, a place for you to better connect with and illuminate your own personal spiritual importance. And what does that mean? That means that in today's reading, we are going to be taking a look at a challenge that Spirit is asking you to face and overcome in the month of July to better help you engage with your unique spirit, that part of ourselves that rises up to the occasion when we are faced with challenges, that allows us to unlock those heroic capabilities that are unique to each one of us. And this is all in an effort for us to be able to better understand our path, our purpose, and get closer to those wonderful feelings of emotional fulfillment when we understand where we fit as that unique individual. Okay, so Sagittarius, let's get right into the reading. I'm going to pull some cards here. First, we'll take a preliminary look at what you're bringing into the month of July. We'll take a look at what's going on around you, and then we'll look at what you're learning about yourself, and we'll pull additional cards after that to dive deeper into the block and the challenge that you're facing and how to overcome it. And the why. What are you unlocking about yourself this month? Okay, so we have the Three of Cups. Beautiful energy to have internally. This is it's a celebratory energy. It's wanting to get together with others to share yourself on an emotional level with others. And let's go ahead and dive right in here. Okay. Ooh, Sagittarius, interesting energy. So you're bringing in this feeling of wanting to connect with others, but connect with others on a level that is fun, lighthearted, but also that feeling of this is my family, this is my tribe. Now in your external environment, we have the Six of Swords and the Hierophant, and that's an energy of moving on. The Six of Swords to me can actually have a much higher, deeper spiritual meaning in that it's almost a card of transcendence. When on a mental level, we have released the restrictions of the past and are now able to understand that we can move on from the perceived limitations in our external environment, and we can now go into this kind of growth and expansion phase for ourselves. With the Hierophant coming in, this is moving on from a system or a standard you've currently held yourself accountable to. The Hierophant can be those rules, regulations. It can actually be higher elements like law and religious structures and things along those lines that keep us held to following certain rules. This can also be, and I'm just going to say this for just maybe one or two of you out there, this can be actually moving on from a marriage or from some larger contractual agreement that you've held yourself accountable to. But for most of you, this is just the energy of moving beyond, almost like breaking boundaries for yourself, moving beyond the rules and regulations. I think up to this point, you've held yourself accountable to following. Now we have Judgment as the main lesson that you're learning this month. It's actually very interesting with the King of Wands in the World coming up underneath. So the King of Wands is that energy of what I like to call the CEO energy. It's the energy of understanding how to work from a place of passion, how to put that as a part of how you're taking action. That the King of Wands is someone who always has his uniqueness, his unique passions first and foremost in every decision that he's going to choose to make and where he takes action. But with the World, there is something about a chapter in your life where perhaps this energy you had at one point either wanted to assume this role or you had assumed this role, and it's come to an end at this point. So something where this could also be actually for some of you where perhaps this is even somebody around you, that there's somebody around you who had kind of asserted this role. Now, the King of Wands is also a Leo energy, so there could be actually that there had been a Leo in your life or that you have a strong Leo placement in your chart. But more than likely, this is actually showing me that there's some aspect of yourself that you had wanted to step up into this role, or you had assumed this role. So for some of you, this could have been where you were maybe driving forward on a passion project for many years. You owned your own business, or this could be where you actually had kind of gone to that higher level in a corporate establishment or in some aspect of your career, or it could be just where you were living from this place, this very passionate, Kings can often be an unselfish energy, meaning that they are kind of looking out for their kingdom. They tend to do what's in the best interest of others, but also from a place of a personal empowerment, that they know what they want, they know their capabilities. But they're also, this could even be where you were kind of ruling your own home environment, where you were the head of the household, you were the one kind of looking out for everybody, but you were still taking action from a place of passion. But something has come to an end. The World is that card that kind of comes in, and with the World and Judgment, this is a major, abrupt stop. This is one part of your life has effectively come to an end, and you're being asked to rise up as a new version of yourself. And with the Six of Wands and the Hierophant coming in, this is very supportive energy of you moving past a set limitation. I think that some of you felt you were never going to get beyond. Meaning that, let's say this was something where maybe you were the head of the household and you were the one that was kind of looking out for the welfare of your family. And maybe you took pride in that. This was part of your passion. This was part of, I get to take pride in the family unit that I'm helping to create. But maybe those children now have moved on. Or maybe there's an element here of maybe the reverse. Maybe you were always out in the career world and you were just going, and something has changed in that level where now you're realizing, wow, there's so much more to life than just working to make money, working to focus on me expressing my passion. Maybe there's a new way that I can express my passion. And so with this kind of community feeling that you're bringing in here, there's this almost a seeking quality that I feel intuitively coming through. Where do I fit now? Where can I celebrate with others as I look to move on from a limitation I thought maybe I could never go beyond? So this is a very powerful month with the World and Judgment. This is that card, this is that month where it's time to make the change. It's time to realize that you're more Sagittarius than I think you ever thought you were capable of. And this can be where maybe you thought that, the rules and the structures of everything was, I can only have that 4-bedroom home and worth X amount, and I can have my 2.5 kids. And you're realizing now, wait a second, maybe there's so much more to life than this. Maybe actually now I can go out, and instead of looking at it with my children leaving the home, that all I'm left with is just going to work every day. Maybe now it's a time for me to really dive deep and to say, well, what now do I want for myself? Maybe I want to downsize. Maybe I don't have to have that home. And maybe now I can actually have the freedom to travel in a way that I've never done before. Or I have the free time now to explore a new aspect of how I can utilize my passion. Maybe I can start writing. Maybe I can start mountain climbing. But there's some aspect of wanting that community, wanting to come together on an emotional level with others while you are moving on from, again, that set limitation. Something in your life that I think you thought it was almost like having your wings clipped a little bit to a certain extent. And with Judgment coming in, that's it can be a scary but a wonderful energy, because it really is that hearing the call, that major change of, okay, I'm growing into the next phase of who I'm meant to be. All right, so now we're going to pull some cards here to take a look at the actual challenge. So what is What is Sagittarius facing this month as far as embracing the energy of growth, embracing the energy of kind of boundary breaking? Okay, so we have Two of Cups. Love that right off the bat. That's equal partnership. This actually is, goes hand in hand with the Three of Cups. There's an element of support coming through here. Okay, Nine of Swords. Card of worry. Card of those negative what ifs. Okay, I did see the Queen of Cups pop up there, but we'll see if it comes out again. So the Two of Cups coming up as your main challenge position. The Two of Cups is actually a highly supportive energy. It's a beautiful energy just in general in the tarot. Oops, hold on. Grab that. Okay, we have Seven of Cups. In the heart of your reading, we have the Prince of Swords, which in this deck is the Page of Swords in the traditional Rider-Waite tarot. I'm sorry, is the Knight of Swords. Okay, so let's go ahead, get one final card. So the Two of Cups, as I was saying, it's a very beneficial energy. It's one of equal partnership. It's where two people get to bring their cup equally to the union. It's a card of support. It's a card where one person doesn't have to give more than the other or take more. It's just a wonderful energy. But where this can become a challenge is when we are afraid to give in to that support, or we feel that we actually don't have it. We're yearning for it. We're yearning for that equal partnership, but we are afraid that we may be let down, that we may bring our cup to the party, so to speak, and it may not be reciprocated by others, or that we may bring our cup to the party and somebody may want us to pour from our cup into theirs. It's also one where we just are afraid to kind of let go of that control. When I think of the King of Wands and I think of the world kind of coming in and saying, okay, that major chapter on almost that chapter of an element of control in your life is done. And you're being asked to kind of enter this new phase of growth where you're moving on from a system, some rules and system that you've held yourself accountable to following. That there can be this feeling of, but am I going to have to do it all on my own? I want the support of my partner. I want the support of someone in my life, whether it's another business partner or a friend, but maybe there is nobody out there for me. Maybe when I try to go out there and seek this help, it's not actually there. And that's what the Nine of Swords is showing on the other side, that there's this feeling of, I think, as you're kind of going out there and you're moving into this new phase for yourself, there is the negative what ifs. The what if I do go for this? What if I do change this aspect of myself? What if my life is changing and I'm no longer what I identified as previously? What if no one wants to share my cup? What if no one wants to support this new version of myself? And with the Seven of Cups coming up in the middle, this is a very interesting card to actually come up in the heart of your reading. This is what Spirit's asking you to embrace, to overcome and help you kind of navigate this change for yourself this month, and to really get yourself into this expansion phase. Now, the Seven of Cups, why I say it's an interesting card, because the Seven of Cups is one of opportunity to a certain extent, but it's also one where it can kind of be an illusionary energy, where we are looking at all of these options outside of ourselves, and you can kind of see the individual looks like he's almost being tortured by all of these cups around him, where it seems like, oh my gosh, the world's my oyster and there's so many opportunities for me to bring my cup into the scenario, but what is going to fulfill me? Is it that work option? Is it that person? Is it this friend group? Is it this hobby? And we get to that point where we're so overwhelmed with what's the right choice? Is it worth it for me to invest emotionally in this when maybe this is actually the better option? And what this is saying is actually, yes, the world is your oyster to a certain extent, but the world's only your oyster when you understand the power and the worth of your own cup. And what do I mean by that? I mean that what we each hold our own cup. And you can see in this energy here, there's 3 people each holding their own cup up in celebration. And what's in that cup is unconditional love for ourselves from the divine, for the unique individual that we are. It's also all of our unique needs, wants, hopes, and dreams. And it's what if we poured out our cup fully into our experience, meaning we were emotionally vulnerable. It's what for us, if all of our needs were met on that emotional level, is our ability to experience a little bit of heaven on earth. Now, everybody's, as I say this often in a lot of my readings, everybody's vision of heaven is different because every single person has a unique cup with a unique mixture of needs and hopes and dreams that they want to fulfill and that they want to have met. And with the 7 of Cups, the world is your oyster when you understand the value of your cup. When you understand first what are those needs, dreams, and wants. And you're getting another chance to experience and bring your cup out into the world in a new, fresh way. And instead of kind of getting caught up in the, well, what about, like, who's gonna share my cup? And almost like hiding it because you desperately want this community feeling, that it's time to realize and embrace that you just need to go out. You just need to embrace that there are going to be a lot of options. There's going to be a lot of things out there that are actually going to meet your needs. They're going to help fulfill your dreams. But you have to, instead of kind of being overwhelmed by this, realize, keep your eye trained on your own cup. Because on the other side of this is the Prince of Swords. And the Prince of Swords, or the Knight of Swords, is an energy of fast-moving communication. It can actually be where we are going out and sharing our truth. This can be where we almost kind of truth or love bomb somebody, where we get to that point where we're like, you know what? This is what I want. This is, what I want to do. And I'm going to go out there and I'm going to start speaking my truth. I'm going to start sharing my truth. I'm going to start taking action. And this is a card of taking action, but taking action on a mental level of really understanding, okay, this is the truth of my situation. Something has changed. Something has come to an end. I am changing. I do want this emotional connection with others. And it's time for me to start going out there and communicating from this new place. Because on the other side of this, we have the Emperor. And the Emperor is your final point of challenge before you get to liberate yourself and expand in the month of July and moving forward. The Emperor card is the energy of realizing you are the Emperor in your own life. We're each the Emperor in our own lives. We're the center of our own universe. And the Emperor gets to call the shots. He's someone or she's someone. Don't get caught up on obviously the gender that's shown in the card. But the Emperor is one who takes the King of Wands energy up to the next level. There's a level of maturity and steadfastness that comes with the Emperor, where the individual who assumes this energy is someone who is looking out for the best interest of his or her kingdom. It's someone who understands that no matter what phase in life we are in, we are always still the emperor of our own empire, of our own kingdom, of our own life. And for some of you, this is that point of stepping into that place of realizing, I get to call the shots for my life. I get to choose what emotionally fulfills me. I get to choose who I engage with. And I get to choose how I want to grow my influence and my empire. And that's really where that expansion energy is going to come from, is when you realize just kind of how powerful you are. And you may not feel that way because you're being asked to go through this change. It's almost like having to put a hard stop on an aspect of yourself that made you feel very powerful, that made you feel like you were doing something you loved. And now there's this element of an abrupt change. But that abrupt change is going to lead you towards a community feeling. And it's going to also allow you to step up into your power. But you really have to have the courage to, instead of like looking for this to come out of your environment, it's about looking to rejoin that environment and start to speak and share your truth with the full feeling and confidence that an emperor would have. Okay, so now I'm going to pull 3 additional cards. These are all going to be advice from Spirit, that we're going to look into the 3 core principles of curiosity, courage, and contemplation. They're principles that I work with in my practice on a continual basis because personally, I feel when you utilize just these 3 simple principles, you can unlock so much about yourself, and they allow you to authentically and presently in the moment engage with your life in a more empowered way. So with curiosity, we are opening ourselves up to that beautiful, optimistic, what's around the corner kind of energy. We are getting ourselves ready to fearlessly go down our path a few steps more to see what's waiting for us. And this is really where, for me, I feel that the miracles are waiting, that there's always miracles waiting to come in for us, but we just have to be brave enough and curious enough to want to go down and seek them out. So we have the 4th chakra, Archangel Raphael, number 38, breaking down to Master number 11. I love the number 38 because it brings the number 3 and the number 8 together. The number 3 is the number of divinity. It's the number of greeting life with the optimism and innocence of a child, mixed with the number 8, which is personal empowerment and empowered leadership. And then together they combine to the Master number 11, which is opening that portal between what currently is in your experience and what can be, the elevation, the growth, the transcendence, when we choose to work with Spirit and with faith in what is to come and what can be for ourselves. So 4th chakra, this is your heart chakra. This is working with the energy of love. And it's showing here that the love has to start first. The miracle starts with the love you have for yourself, Sagittarius. And once you get in touch with that and you open that heart space up vulnerably, if you can get ready to take your cup and that open heart chakra down the road a bit, that's where the miracle is going to come in for you this month. It's going to come in whether it's an individual who sees you and the new version of you and what's in your cup, and you get to have this beautiful 2 of Cups experience, or whether it's the ability to take this new version of yourself and share it in a way that is going to be very emotionally fulfilling for you. It's going to be that opportunity that I think you're kind of stuck in deliberating, and it's going to just come in out of nowhere. It's going to be one of those things where you're going to, I think, find where you fit, Sagittarius, or feel more confident in this new version of yourself and in sharing it with others. But you really have to get into that heart chakra, and you have to allow that space to be open and vulnerable and allow yourself to really shine from that place. And really keep in mind the number 3 and the number 8, that personal empowerment, you can still be a very empowered being by acting from that place, that innocent childlike place of, bringing forward the vulnerable inner child. Keep that in mind. Okay, so now I'm going to pull a card here for the concept of courage. And courage is an important principle because it keeps us courageous and taking action, meaning we are constantly in that place of awareness in the present moment where we have the power to make choices, to take action on our own behalf and within and for our own authentic expression. So this card here is really what Spirit would like you to keep in mind to help you have the courage to take action. Oh, I love it. It says surrender procrastination. It says now is the time to jump on a goal instead of putting it off. Taking action will attract success. And I think that's also really coming through here with the 7 of Cups, with the Prince of Swords coming in directly after that. It's no more about this deliberation of where do I go with my cup? Who's going to appreciate my cup? What's going to fulfill me out there? What's next? What's next? What's next? It's saying you decide what's next. And you go out there and start taking action from that place. You start expressing from that place. What do you want for yourself? What is a need you need to have fulfilled? What is a dream you need to have fulfilled? And what uniquely do you bring yourself? And I do feel for many of you, with the Nine of Swords coming in, there's something around, you already know. When Judgment card comes in, you already have heard the call. You feel pulled towards something new. You feel pulled, and it could even be pulled towards something old, something of a past version of yourself. But either way, you're being pulled to break a limit for yourself, to expand beyond what you've currently known. And it's time to make that change. It's time to push past that boundary for yourself, and to get out of kind of this, maybe I'll do da 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 da, or this will come in for me, da da. It's like, no, go out and make it happen for yourself. You're the emperor. What do you want? How do you want to expand your empire? Who do you want to let in to your empire? And when you start to look from that perspective, that's when you realize just how much control you truly have over your experience. Okay, so now let's go in. I'm going to pull a final card here for the concept of contemplation. So this is where Spirit would like you to be reflective on for the month, to really help kind of underscore this whole reading and to give you something that throughout this month to really keep in mind, to hold you accountable for stepping into this place of personal empowerment for yourself, for taking action towards the new, towards making these changes, towards leaning into the confidence that others will support you, that there are others out there who are your equal match, and that you will find this community. And that also, Sagittarius, you will break some boundaries that you've long thought, either that have long held you back, or that you thought that this was all there was. There's something here about liberation coming through this month, that you might have to put kind of an end to this part of yourself, but in doing so, it's actually going to free you in a way that I think you might be surprised coming into August, and especially coming into September and October, when the energies really start to shift, how the decisions you make this month are really going to expand your own ability to see what you're capable of and what you can have for your life experience. Okay, so we have inner temple. It says devotion. Tune into the portal of your heart. So again, we have another call to tune into the portal of your heart. So there is something here about really tuning into that energy of love. What do you love? Who do you love, actually? But getting back to yourself. This says the inner temple. This doesn't say, look to your children and do something for them, or look to other people and do something for them. This is saying tune into your heart. What do you need? What does your heart call for? What does your heart yearn for? And allow yourself and your life experience at this point to honor that, and to understand that that's really where your true power lies in this next portion of your experience. And that's why you're feeling so called to connect with others, because this is going to be a very heart-centered next chapter for your life. And it's going to be one of expansion. This isn't like, oh, I'm going to tune into the portal of my heart and I'm going to have to retract everything. I'm going to lose money. I'm going to have to leave my corporate job. I'm going to have to downsize my house. This is saying tune into the portal of your heart to allow the expansion to start from within in this phase of your life. And that's what's going to kind of almost like I'm seeing almost act like a sonic boom that is going to clear the way. And you're going to kind of pick your head up and see in all directions that, oh my gosh, the way is clear. I'm no longer held back. Like, what was I so afraid of? There's nothing here except open space for me to create what I want, the empire that I want. Beautiful energy, Sagittarius. I hope that this has been a illuminating reading. If you would like to go deeper into the cards and learn a little bit more about the opportunity that's coming in, the changes that you're going through, and to look at the energy of love in general, romantic love, you can click on the Vimeo link in the description box below to view the extended, which is about another 30 minutes in length. Otherwise, if you'd like to book a personal reading or just learn more about me as a intuitive, you can click on the link in the description box to visit my website as well. If I don't see you in either of those two places, Sagittarius, I look forward to seeing you again in August, and I wish you all a very loving, heart-centered, and limitless month of July. Bye, Sagittarius.